What's up, everybody? It's Justin Colby from thescienceofflipping.com and the Science of Flipping podcast on iTunes. Now, some of you might not know me at all, but others might know me from the Science of Flipping podcast on iTunes. Maybe you have my book, The Science of Flipping, from Amazon, or my ebook. Maybe you actually saw me speak on stage somewhere here in Arizona or California or some other state. Or some of you just may have found me online very recently and don't really even know my story at all. So that's the intention of this video. I want to tell you a little bit more about me, where I came from, what I've gone through, the difficulties I've had, the lessons I've learned, and how ultimately I've been able to build a 7-figure-a-year real estate investing empire here in Phoenix, Arizona. Now I got to tell you, straight up, it hasn't always been puppy dogs and rainbows. It hasn't just been an overnight success. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been learning the hard way. I've been taking challenges and taking risks. And at times it wasn't always pretty. But every time that I fell down, I got back up. And that has been the secret to my success. I'm not the smartest ever. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. But I know if I just keep going, I ultimately will succeed and reach the goals that I want to reach. So the story, again, isn't always about puppy dogs and rainbows and all the money I've made and all the cool things I have. That's not where I'm going here. I want you to know more about me, what I've gone through, and how ultimately I've reached the level of success that I'm at now, and ultimately where am I going and what do I want to achieve. So let's take a minute and back all the way up into graduating college. I went to UCLA and I got a diploma from UCLA. But before that, I got to tell you what, I made a huge mistake. It was literally my my last final ever as a senior at UCLA. And I was over it. I just wanted the shortcut. I just wanted to be done. I wanted to graduate. I'm tired of school. I just did well. I did great. I'm going to graduate. Grades are good. So I say, guess what? I'm going to take the shortcut. I'm going to do the easy way. I'm not going to try. And I'm going to just take a couple pieces from the internet and start to put together a paper. And I'm going to do that enough that I can just kind of, maybe get a couple pages of my own thoughts out and then take everything else and cheat and steal and do it to a point where they actually caught me plagiarizing on my last final. Now, it wasn't the highlight of my life. Let me tell you about it. I've never been more terrified. I've never been more embarrassed. I had to tell my family that I technically won't get my diploma until I redo this class. I was ashamed of myself that I took the way of cheating and stealing and not genuinely doing it myself. And that gave me a great lesson that I learned. And that lesson has stuck with me all the way to today, where every day I go and dig deep to continue to push and do it myself and to make sure I'm doing it the right way, not the easy way. Now, I went into sales directly after college, and I really started to understand people and motivation and how to be able to persuade and how it really affects people when you're talking to them. Every single conversation, guys, is the other side of that conversation is, what's in it for me? That's all they're thinking about. And so if you can really understand that, every single conversation, whether it be in business or personal, that's how human nature is. And I really started to understand that when I was in sales, and ultimately I owned my own sales company. The sales company would go door to door selling business services like Visa, Verizon, AT&T, credit card processing. And so it really took a lot of tenacity, it took a lot of grit, it took a lot of determination, fortitude to really get good at that style of sales. Now, with that being said, I ended up catching pneumonia and I actually got rid of my company. And right at that point, my buddy gave me a call who I went to UCLA with, and he said, hey, you want to get into real estate? We're going to start a brokerage. That was back in 2005. That was in a very, very exciting time in my life because in 2005, everyone was getting rich. It didn't matter whether you were good or not. You were just a factor of the times, right? I mean, we were just order takers. My friend's dad, he was a developer, and we would sit at the new homes and basically just take orders. And that's all we would do, and we make tons and tons of money for it. So I wasn't able to hone my skill. I didn't go through any hurdles or difficulties. So when the market started to crash, I became an absolute statistic. I lost it all. I lost my $500,000 condo, my $90,000 car. I had $40,000 on credit card debt that was revolving because I was spending so much money because I knew I could keep making it. I literally went broke. And if it wasn't for some close friends and family that were able to be there for me, I don't know where I'd be. But it was one friend that I gave a call to and I said, I'm down and out. I have no income. I have nothing going for me. I have no money in the bank. My home's going to go to foreclosure. The repo man is going to take my car. The creditors are going to call me for all this credit card debt that I've assumed. Now, he allowed me to sleep on the couch. He said, I got you. I have a couch. Come sleep on the couch. And I said, thank God, right? It was a saving grace because it allowed me not to go run and put my tail between my legs and go back to my family, but really it allowed me to gather my thoughts, dig deeper about what I was made of. And this is going to be the second time that I just felt ashamed and terrible about the choices I made. And I didn't plan for the future and I put no money aside and I overspent. And so this is another time where I had to dig deep and feel out what I was made of. So for over 9 months, I ended up sleeping on a couch. I actually slept on that couch for a year, but it took me 9 months to get my first real estate investing deal. And how that came about is because I had a really close friend who also was in the real estate industry, and he actually was going to lose his job too. He and I today are still business partners, and we're doing over 100 flips a year here in the Phoenix market. But at that time, we didn't know what we were going to do. So we said, you know what? We're going into real estate investing. We can do this. This can be a very profitable, huge business that we can run and create something for ourselves. So for 9 months, I sat and banged the phones. I cold called every single realtor known to man to tell them about who we were, what we were about to do. I had the energy and the vibrance, and I knew if I continued to make those calls, I would get my first deal. Well, it took me 9 months. And that means no income. That means I can't afford my own rent, let alone my own dinners. Everyone had to basically financially help me. I was eating top ramens pretty much for 7-8 months. And it was just a dark, hard time for me. But I kept digging in deep, knowing that I could make something of myself, knowing that something was better on the other end of this journey. And so with that belief, and when I mean belief, I mean it was in my soul, it was in my heart, that I could make something of myself, both in business and personally, and prove to myself what I was made of. And it took me 9 months to get that first deal. And let me tell you, it was amazing. It gave me so much confidence to say, I can do it. Nothing can stop me. I have no money. I had no money for marketing. I was sleeping on a couch. I was eating top ramen. I mean, I was down and out, but I wasn't going to give up. And I kept going, and 9 months later, we got that first deal. I got $7,000. Now I had a business partner, and I still have a business partner. So whatever I make, he gets 50% of. So he got half of that $7,000. Well, that doesn't mean I made much money, right? I have $3,500 in my bank, so I went from top ramen to hot dogs. That's how I like to explain it, right? But I'm still sleeping on a couch. Well, very shortly thereafter, we got our second deal, made another $7,000, and then I knew it was absolutely over. I knew with anything, without a shadow of a doubt at this point, we could do something really, really big in this industry. From there, I said, you know what? We need some coaching. We need some mentor. We need somebody to help guide us because we're just muscling through it, but we don't know anything. We genuinely are just muscling through it. So we invested $25,000 into a coach, and that coach shaped us and formed us and was able to help us put in systems, and we took off. The year after that, we did 6 deals. The year after that, we did 20 deals, and then we did 46 deals, and then we did 96 deals, and so on and so on. We got into developing 79 townhomes, and we still to this day are doing over 100 deals a year here in Phoenix. Now, in year 2, we also invested in coaching and masterminds to continue to surround ourselves with people who are smarter, who have gone through more, who make more money, and to continue to build that network so that we can continue to grow. Because I'm a firm believer, it's all about your network. It's about the people that you look up to. It's about the people that you surround yourself with and the guidance that you get from them. And if you're sitting on the edge thinking, oh, I don't have a whole lot of money and I don't know if I can afford I'm telling you, you can't afford not to have a coach. You can't afford not to have a mentor. You can't afford not to surround yourself with bigger, better people who have done it before you. That is the main lesson that I learned over the last 10 years is every single year I continue to hire people on, I continue to bring people into my world, join masterminds so I can become better each and every year, because at the end of the day, I still don't know it all. I can be a better person, I can be a better business partner, I can be a better business owner, I can be a better real estate investor. And at the end of the day, now I'm at where I'm at, and you guys are watching this video and probably thinking, you know, that would be really cool to be able to be in where Justin's at, but it wasn't always puppy dogs and rainbows, as I mentioned. I've gone through my trials and tribulations. I've gone through losing money on deals. I've gone through losing, $400,000 on deals. I've gone through, difficult relationships having to be severed. And it's just not always just perfect. But what I do know, and what I found out very early on, is I have the fortitude and grit to keep getting up, no matter what. If I fall down, I'm going to fall face first, because that means I'm making progress and going forward. And every time I do that, I ultimately end up succeeding. And it's not always easy, and I get a little nervous and I get a little scared, but I just say, hey, you know what? If I want the life I want, I have to go for it. I got to play all out. There are no second chances. This isn't practice, right? This is life, and you get one chance to make yourself better, to make the money you want, and you have one obligation: to live the life that you were meant to live. So let me leave you with this. This game isn't difficult. It's also not easy. What you need is tenacity. You need drive. You need fortitude. You need someone to look up to, a mentor, a coach, a mastermind, something to be part of so that you know you're going on the right track. You need to never give up, no matter how hard it gets, because at the end of the day, this is something that you can achieve. I know it because you're here watching this video. You can be a very, very successful real estate investor. I'm here to support you. I'm here to encourage you. I've always just continued to push forward no matter how many mistakes I make. And let me tell you now, I've made more mistakes than you. I've also achieved more than you, because I'm able to stand here today and be able to help encourage you to achieve the goals that you want. And the only reason why I can achieve those goals is because I'm willing to take the risk to move forward, to keep pushing. So dig deep. Find the tenacity, find the courage, find the fortitude to get what you deserve so you can be the real estate investor, the business owner, the entrepreneur that you want to be. That's all I got for you guys. I hope you really enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed learning more about me and what I've gone through and the difficult times I've had. Again, if you can just dig deep, find it inside of you, but be passionate about it. Find your passion and you will always be successful. That's it for me. I'm Justin Colby, signing off. Peace.